Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday. It is session 31 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, and we have done some traveling and a little bit of stuff in Mombasa, and we are on the way to Nairobi. However, before we get into that and into the summary, and Charles appears to have stopped working, let's introduce the characters. Let us start off with, I keep saying Constanza, but it's wrong, isn't it? It's Constantina. Bavaria
Indeed,
Parks.
Constantia, Bavaria Parks. Now, I don't want to be interrupted during my introduction, so I'm just going to mute everybody. There we go. So, I am Constantia, Bavaria Parks, and I'm here in this country, whatever country I'm in, I'm not entirely sure. I think it began with a K. It doesn't matter. I'm here to shoot things. I was thinking, what they told me, this group told me something about a dragon. I've got to get me one of those. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shoot it. But since I met them, rather unbelievably, they wrote me into a burglary. Oh my God, it was so much fun! I have never had so much adrenaline. It's better than shooting tigers and elephants at the same time.
I can just see that getting worse and worse over time, and then you become an adrenaline junkie. But in the meantime, Perry, I'm still getting this wrong. Perry.
Come back, Francois, all forgiven. Yes,
Sure?
a Canadian explorer and obviously guide to the shootist on my top left.
The shootist? What's the shootist?
Shooting. Shootist is a movie starring John Wayne where he's a gunman that's
rootness tootness.
Anyway. Yes, Canadian explorer who will be guiding the group on this expedition to Kenya.
Well, I mean, you're already in Kenya, but I get what you mean.
It's going to get worse.
And Pranit pissed off Singh Dillon.
Yes, indeed. My name is Pranit Singh Dillon. I'm a former soldier in the British Army. I didn't want to go to Kenya, but now we are here, and now we are going to get our ass kicked or burned to a crisp. I don't know. We'll see where this goes, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I've got fancy T-shirts too. I mean, look, I'm sure China was a massive breeze, and you don't know what you're missing. And finally, Charles, the alcoholic.
Yes, I'm Charles Barrington-Smythe. Unlike my associate Pranit there, I do understand the concept of democracy. There was a vote. 3 voted for Kenya, and that was that. Yes, it's been eventful, hasn't it? Yes.
Would you like to give a summary then?
Yes. Well, we arrived, and then things happened, and then things really happened, and then oh by God, things happened.
Can you be a bit more specific?
Sounds like a Francois.
Yes, I'm gonna be more specific. Don't worry.
Okay.
Sounded like a Francois summary.
No, it was definitely not biased enough because it was encompassing everything, not just her.
And no one said imbecile.
No.
I wasn't listening.
We arrived in Mombasa at the harbour. We have arrived in the wonderful, beautiful country of Kenya, which, according to some people, they didn't realize it was full of Kenyans. But now they know it's one of the major exports and imports are Kenyans. And we set up at the Castle Hotel. It seemed rather appropriate that this Englishman lived in his castle whilst we were in Mombasa.
That's
and then
why it's called that, yeah.
We had ourselves a bit of a conversation about who we would maybe like to contact with regards to getting some clues in our ongoing search for these cultist little bastards. And we decided we were going to have a look at this A.J. Singh, this man who imports and exports. While we were heading down to the docks to his offices, Pranit noticed. Well, actually, everyone bar me noticed this young man following us. So Pranit sort of pointed him out, and everyone gave chase by running ahead of him, which was very interesting to see. And the young boy was eventually cornered, I believe, by Constantia, which must have been an interesting thing for him. And it turned out that the young boy was under intelligent and scrupulous interrogation by ourselves, which had nothing to do with threats and intimidation, you must understand. We ascertained that he was indeed following us, keeping an eye on us. So we took the little rascal to the local police and had him banged up. Because that's what you do for little ruffians like that. You get them banged up.
If they're not white.
No, just little ruffians generally. I don't care what ethnicity they are. I just say lock them all up, the little bastards who cheat them a lesson. So we went down to this warehouse and hoping to meet with A.J. Singh, but instead we met with his associate, Opinda, who we later found out was a relative, and we found out that the little rascal we got imprisoned was also a relative, and there's just too many Singhs, no offense, Pranit. There's just too many Singhs going around here. So we tried to find out about the shipment that had went to the Penule Foundation because of and Pinder was very, very unwilling to give us any information at all because he was a snotty little bastard. So we decided we were going to rob the place after hours. But before we did that, Constantia wanted to ask the spirits. I asked my spirits. They said yes, but she wanted to ask hers. So they had a seance.
As you do.
I was not present at the seance because, quite frankly, balls to that. So whilst I was reconstituting my flask repeatedly, the rest of them had a seance. And of all people to get in contact with, they got in contact with Jackson Elias himself. Which was a bit of a fright. He didn't really make much sense. He said something about fancier, something about pretty yellow nooses, talking in Spanish, talking about raising hats to dolphins, and some gibberish about a gate, and then he started screaming and he was gone. So we decided to press ahead with our robbery of the warehouse. Myself and Perry provided a distraction on the guards, which was extremely good for me and not particularly good for Perry, but he pulled through because he's a hardy soul. And we did discover some information, more sort of keeping, allowing us to we know about certain things, but in particular, bricks of tea, going to a Nairobi tea shop, the Tankawa. So we've decided to board a train to Nairobi. Nice first-class compartment, of course.
Of course.
And we were just nicely settling in, getting ourselves all seated and ready for the journey. And settling in when we saw two great big balls of fire heading towards us. And then we all froze in place for a week.
Yes. Slight amendment in that this happened when you were well on your way rather than just settling in.
Yeah.
So it's been a good 8-9 hours sort of time. So it's now dark. But yes, so give yourself another D8 of luck, Charles, and Phil, have you done your regular luck that we all agreed on? You're muted.
No, I haven't. Okay, I'll pass that. Okay, so what I get a D10 tonight? I get a 3.
You got to fail
You
it.
have to fail to pass.
Oh,
Like
damn, I
improvement.
didn't forget anything. Yeah, you're right. I didn't forget anything then. So, 16 luck for me.
Still 16. Okay.
You rolled under 16.
Hmm?
Yep.
You rolled under 16. You poor
Yep,
sod.
I rolled a 5.
Oh.
That's the
Can't
last
do that
5.
later if you need it.
That's the last 5 of the evening.
Constantina, what is your luck now?
My luck, darling, it is, let me see now, 66.
Santa's still 25. Perry, you're possibly on 99 sanity. I've left it at that for the minute. I hadn't actually watched the whole thing through, so I didn't check in the end. But yeah. Pranit, are you on 83 sanity?
Yes, indeed. And 23 luck.
You're still on 23? Okay.
No, I was on 21. I was on 21. I went up to 23.
Oh, I already modified it. That's why I forgot. Charles, you're on 48 sanity, I believe.
48 sanity. I'm now on 39 luck.
39.
Which, considering
got a major wound.
Which considering I started at 23 is a pretty good up.
And there are a couple of you with major wounds. Pranit weirdly has full health, but a major wound thanks to the blessings of Bast. And Perry is nearly back up to full health.
I have 9, but I am on a major wound.
Yes, correct.
Magic points. What magic points do we get back over what period?
Now I can't remember if it's 1 per day or if it's 1 per hour, babe.
Per day. Basically, you get them back every day.
Okay.
Becky's used them more than me, so okay, all good. So yes,
And I also have a bonus die.
Yeah. You've got a bonus die, and Pran's got a bonus die.
Yes.
So
And Constantina.
Yes.
No, I spent mine correct.
Oh, she did. She did. Yes, she did.
No point holding on to it. Can't earn more.
No, indeed. Yes. So, just kind of get you back in then. Yeah. So you have been in your compartment now for a good 8, 9, 10 hours. You've seen wonderful views of the savannah as it opened up, as you were kind of slowly, very, very slowly kind of climbing up the hills into the uplands. It's still been quite warm during the day, but definitely less humid. So there's been a little bit of a breeze. You could open the window. It's all very nice. You could see wildlife like zebras, even a couple of rhinoceri and things like that wandering around. Again, Mount Kilimanjaro sort of in the far distance and things like that during the day. Plenty of food and water from the dining cart as well, pretty much whenever you want. They do come around regularly and things like that. But yes, as night has fallen, I believe I said about 10 o'clock at night, you were sort of minding your own business, and then you can't help but notice, again, given it's so dark outside, there's no, lights outside or anything. These two very bright, almost like stars, these bright floating balls of light, fire, what have you, one glowing red, one glowing blue, stop outside your window, and almost like they know that you're in there, they start moving towards not the glass of the window, but underneath the window, and you start seeing little wisps of smoke coming up past the window as if they're burning through.
I'm getting my gun out of my luggage.
But,
I
Harry, dear
don't
boy.
think there's point in that. I would leave the fucking compartment altogether.
Perry, dear boy, was that? Am I right in saying that I can see
Oh.
2 balls trying to burn through our compartment?
It does seem very much that way.
Good point, actually.
That's
Before
it.
anyone goes anywhere, can I have a sanity point? Sanity roll, even. from
Sanity
all of you?
roll.
Well, obviously I failed.
Obviously.
I pass.
Oh, I pass and then some.
Christ, I just passed.
Constantina, you lose 3 sanity points.
Now that is more than 10%, but I'm okay so far, aren't I?
No, it's a 5th you need.
Yeah, it's
Fifth.
20% before it.
It's not 10%. It's always a 5th. Because you've got 25 still, haven't you? So if you lose 5 at once, then
Yeah.
no. If you beg your pardon, if you lose 5 during today, then yes,
Yeah.
you would become indefinite.
Yeah, so I've got 2 more. Okay. It's all good
Yeah.
so far.
In fact, I'll just make a note that you've lost 3 there.
So
I'd be surprised if you lost
so
more.
it is two balls trying to burn through our compartment.
They're very small. They're almost like the size of, I guess, Charles, you'd know this more, but like, you know, that sort of the central ball that you throw first, it's sort of slightly
Yes.
smaller than a golf ball. And again, they've got this very concentrated light emitting these 2 different colors of red and blue. There's this sort of natural, like, bit of vapor coming off them, given they're outside. You think maybe it's water vapor, but they're just floating along.
It's clearly
seemingly
the
of their own
eyes of
accord.
something that requires shooting.
Yep.
And
I
they start
take
burning their way through into your
I
carriage.
take a look at my flask,
Mhm.
trying to decide whether I'm too drunk or not drunk enough.
I'd suggest we leave.
Better be sure. Yes. Out.
So you're gonna step out. Okay. So Constantina has got her gun. So are you still intending to try and shoot one of these?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
I don't know what
double-checking.
it is, but I want to hang it on my wall.
All right. I'm just double checking because of initiative.
I'm looking for a bottle of water.
Bottle of water. Okay. Coolio. Right. So let's go into initiative. Bottles of water. You'll be able to find those in the dining cart, which is essentially the next cart along from where you are. You're in first class, which is at the front of the train.
Sand bucket.
But
I'm going and grabbing 2.
Sand bucket.
okay, there might be sand buckets, along the train. That's perfectly viable. However, Constantina is by far the first to go. So what are you doing? Shooting.
Well, if I can't shoot, if I can't see the thing to shoot, I shoot where I think it is through the train.
You could shoot if you leant out of your window, like if you kind
fantastic! Yes,
of did your arm over,
I do
then yes,
exactly
you can.
that.
Oh, you're using a rifle. Then,
Oh,
aren't you?
good God.
Yes.
Don't they know there's moving
Where
train?
does the window need smashing? I'll do that.
Okay, then
fucking
you smash
Don't
the window.
smash them. Don't let them in.
Actually, let's see if you smash the window first of all. Could I have
Okay.
some sort of brawl roll? So if you actually break through it in one
Oh.
go.
Bloody hell! That actually hurt my arm.
There's quite a big crack that kind of comes across the pane, but you don't actually smash all the way through. You could still try and shoot through, maybe if you wanted to.
Yes,
but that would take-
if I stand on this chair here, I can probably get a shot through the window now.
Okay, that'll definitely be a penalty, but yeah, I'll let you do it.
I don't
Okay,
know
so
whether
penalty
to
die,
I don't
yeah?
know whether to admire her eccentricity or be terrified by it.
Okay, pass and pass.
Okay, just regular.
Just regular.
Just regular. Okay. Cool. Okay, so basically, yeah, your bullet goes through. You can just see this tiny amount of light again because it's such a tiny hole. Kind of flit around a bit. I mean, you shot it.
You're not asking me for damage, which is worrying.
Well, you can roll damage if you want, but it is a ball of fire. So is it going to
Fantastic.
eat
Well,
the bullets?
as far as I'm concerned, that's the eyes, right?
I thought
And
this
now
was.
the whole
I thought this
fucking
was,
wagon is alerted.
I thought this
Eight
was
damage.
Francois who was obsessed with shooting eyes.
Yes.
No, that is the eyes. I'm shooting it in the head. I've done 8 damage.
Constantina, I think you should come with us. But I think we need to
Yes.
leave the
No,
area.
God damn it, I haven't got this thing yet, and I don't know what it is, which must mean I haven't got one on the wall yet.
So the red one, again, you can kind of see it dancing around a bit, but you think all you've done is basically agitated it, and it almost kind of presses itself towards this hole, thinking it's a weak point, and it starts slowly burning away the rest of the metal kind of infrastructure under the window.
Perry, dear boy, I think you might have to manhandle her out of the compartment.
Yeah,
So
Don't you dare ruin my shot.
I'll go back in and I'll sling Constantina over my shoulder, and she might shoot as I'm carrying her out, but I will carry her.
right, hold, no. Before you do that, this will go after this. The blue fireball, that actually, again, you don't know if it understands that there's like a broken window, but it obviously reacts to it, and it kind of floats quite quickly up and to the sort of the most broken part of the glass and just presses itself, and the glass starts cracking and melting a bit. It's obviously very hot, this thing, like beyond boiling point at least, and it's getting through quite quickly, like considerably quickly. Perry, if you want to try and put Constantina over your shoulder, presumably that's going to be opposed, is it? Unless you're allowing. Yes, okay. So
Yeah, I failed my
be,
sanity roll. This is a creature.
That's going to be an
glowing
opposed
ball of
roll
fire.
then from either of you. Or
I can
both of
just
you.
see her shooting over my shoulder.
I passed.
So did I. I got a
Okay,
6.
who's got the highest brawl?
My brawl is what's brawl? My brawl is 50.
That's higher than mine. I'm...
So unfortunately, Perry. Well, not unfortunately. I don't know. Perry takes it. Essentially, he
Get
wins the
off me,
count.
you rapist!
So you scoop her up, fireman Cole style or whatever, and presumably you're heading out.
She can still fire from over her shoulders. We're leaving the compartment.
That's going to be some shots.
Pranit, you're heading to get water, aren't you?
Yes.
So you start hearing the sounds of other people coming out of their carriages. They've obviously heard the gunshot, and they're thinking, "What the fuck is going on?" You rush down towards the dining cart, and you can see just kind of down in the corner near one of the tables, or you think one of the moving kind of table carts. There's plenty of water. There's a good sort of 100 gallons or so in these large pitchers.
I'm taking it.
I mean, you can't take all of it unless you want to kind of put them all on a cart and then move them through. But you could definitely take a couple, in each hand.
What if I just move the cart?
Again, you could, but the pitchers are all kind of on the floor, so you'd need to put them on, which will take a bit of time.
All right. No, I just grab what I can and just rush back.
Yeah, you can grab a couple again in each hand. They're quite sort of big pitchers.
So
and you sort of
just
take four of them.
so I've got this in my head. We're coming out into this sort of standard corridor.
Standard.
You know what I mean? Standard width of a corridor in a train. Narrow.
Yes, okay.
Lush.
Train.
And we're going to have Pranit coming up a moving train with large jugs of water. Is anyone hearing the It's a Knockout theme tune at this point?
Too young.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a baby. I haven't had my jab yet, so I'm too young.
Oh, but mine.
Yes. Okay. So, Next is the red vampire. Oh, that's another quite decent roll from me. So it also burns. It continues to burn its way through from this weak spot of the hole where Constantina punctured through with her rifle. Excuse me. And the metal is just kind of peeling away, almost like peeling a piece of fruit or something like that. Just over. So you can, if you can kind of still see, I know you're out in the corridor, but if you're still looking into the compartment, you can see it burning through again quite considerably quickly. Charles.
Yeah, I'm there's no way I'm shooting at these things. I'm also looking for sort of water or sand. There's not going to be any sand or anything.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said it's viable.
No, I'm saying that there won't be any sand in the galley, because the last thing they're going to do is throw sand about in the kitchen and get it all in the food and everything. If there's going to be any sort of sand bucket.
Yeah, so you kind of wander up and down a bit trying to find some. You think that there may be some just before you get into the next carriage. So again, next to the dining cart, there's a couple of buckets of sand.
Yeah, go and get one of them.
Okay. Oh, did I actually? Okay.
Yes,
Never
you did.
mind.
You said the red one. So I'm saying thanks for confirming that for us. That's
Never
good.
mind. Well, it's been an ongoing theme, hasn't it? So I thought you'd already worked it out. Okay, back to the top. So, Constantina, you are seeing both of these red, blue fireballs coming in.
I'm going to shoot them, damn it! Get off me, you man-ape!
From my shoulder.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
We need to leave. We're going now.
Again, with a penalty because you're on somebody's shoulder.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, thanks for saving my life.
That's only a pass, thanks to you.
Okay.
9 irrelevant damage.
Okay. Well, you do manage to again hit one, but the bullet just, you can see now because there's more of it coming through, the bullet just melts through it.
Got the bastard in the eye.
Speaking of which, the blue vampire, blue fire vampire, I can see why I don't now because I've written it on my page. The blue fireball vampire,
Whatever.
whatever it is,
we have had our suspicions since we heard about the house back in
well, exactly. This is what I mean. So
back in London.
I'm not so bothered about keeping it a secret. That has now come through into the actual compartment of the train. And because Perry and Constantina are the first thing it sees, it's going to go for you. So you can try and dodge, Perry, but it's going to be a penalty given you have somebody on your shoulder.
I will try and dodge. My dodge is 50. Okay, so. And that's a 39.
With a penalty.
Oh, what's the penalty?
You roll it again.
Roll again.
You rolled 100 again.
That's a 28.
So you still pass. Okay. Just a regular pass?
What is that? Yes, it is a regular pass, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you take the
I can spend 3 luck to make it a hard pass.
You're taking the 39, though, not the 28.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
true,
okay,
actually. Yes, you are.
true.
Yes, you are.
Because you got
Okay.
penalty.
No, I thought I heard 20 and 30, but I just wanted to double check. Yeah, so you literally, you can feel the heat of it, and you think it almost kind of singes your eyebrows as it comes past you really, really close into the corridor. Given it's so small, the amount of heat coming off this thing is just insane. It's terrifying. This is hotter than anything you've ever experienced.
I'll shout to Constantina, keep bloody firing as we run down the corridor.
Okay, but it is Pranit next, so you've got your water.
Yes. Of course, I try to empty one of them things I'm taking back towards the first glowing ball of fire / vampire / blue / red / whatever that I see.
According to the stat module, it is the red fire vampire and the blue fire vampire.
The
But,
closest.
I've just realised, Perry, are you moving towards the dining car, or are you trying to move the other way?
Well, the other way's the engine, so that don't make sense.
It's not even the engine; it's just the front of the train.
Yeah, I don't think there was that much thought about it. Do you want me to roll something to left or right, or
Sure, yeah.
hey, do you
Throw a
want to do
bit of
that?
randomness in there. D2.
A D2. Okay.
Also vulgarly known as coin.
Even's right. Oh, so we're going right, whichever way that is.
Okay, so you're going back towards the dining car.
Fuck.
Okay. So, Pranit, you're going to need to try and maneuver past Perry
not.
with what?
There's a fire vampire all buzzing around us, so we can do it from. Isn't it to get past us to do that?
No,
It's
but
not
he is
that
trying
big of a
to.
corridor.
He is trying to hit it with water as opposed to you two with water.
Fair.
So,
Well, to
Okay.
be fair, I mean, it's okay if he hits them with water. It'd be a little worrying if he was going to like hit them with gasoline or something like that. But, you know,
Alcohol.
or
Give me-
alcohol.
give me a throw roll, Pranit.
Embrace the inevitable.
If we're wet, we won't catch light quite so quickly.
Do you know what I find really funny, actually? In the book, it actually says, oh, by the way, alcohol isn't the best choice to throw on them. It's like, no shit.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you do that?
I think
Ooh.
alcohol in role-playing games seems to be a lot more flammable than it is in real life.
That too. That's an extreme.
Okay. Right, so how does the okay. Given it's an extreme, obviously it's not an impale or a blunt, but at the same time it's an extreme. So let me just note down where is its HP. Oh, it's not as much as I thought. That's interesting. Yeah, so you see it kind of the brightness extinguishes just for a few seconds. You definitely think it's done something because it slows down temporarily before it kind of almost reignites. The bright blue comes back and it starts moving around properly again. So who is next? It is the red one. The red one is still burning through. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's through by now. So it also gets through. It doesn't quite reach Perry, etc., but it's close. Charles, you're next. So you've got your
Right.
sand.
Yes. Heading back to my compatriots
Okay.
with the bucket of sand.
Okay. By this point, there's a few people that have started congregating into the corridor, like other people, and they're beginning to panic. So
Move,
can you
move,
make me-
move! Deadly sand in my hands. Move,
Oh,
move,
okay. If you're going to do
Everything's
that,
a panic.
move.
you can give me an intimidate roll if you want, or you can just try and get through them with a dex roll.
Punch them.
Can't I
Kick
do
their
it?
asses.
Can't I do it charmingly?
No. You can't charm somebody running through like a mad lunatic with a bucket of sand.
I'm sorry,
Watch me.
madam. Could you please just fuck off? Please. And thank you.
Let me just dust your brow with this sand. It'll make you feel better.
Sand coming through, sand.
Let me put it to you this way. If the 10s in the unit die were reversed, I'd still have missed.
So what are you rolling? Sorry, intimidate?
Yeah. Well, you won't let me use charm.
Impressive.
No, because really? Okay, so they're not really listening to you. They're more concerned with these glowing ball things that are floating around. And again, they're probably feeling the heat coming off them as well. So you see one of them actually kind of run past you and almost knock you over, trying to get the guard. Somebody else goes for the alarm handle, that kind of thing.
Ladies
so it's
and
all a bit chaotic.
ladies and gentlemen, please keep your cool. I'm here to help you.
Jason, I want your really as a ringtone for my messages. Really.
Okay. I can arrange that if you
was
want.
Perfect.
I can
That was
arrange that.
perfect.
Okay. I'm very flattered. Okay. Because I'm nice, if you want, Charles, you could try a persuade roll to try and calm everybody down.
Still not a charm, though.
No, you haven't got time to charm them.
Bollocks. I'm better at fucking intimidating.
Charming involves getting to know somebody and potentially giving them alcohol, amongst other things.
I'm better at intimidating than I am at fucking persuade. And I'm no good at intimidating.
You look wonderful tonight, miss. Would you mind fucking off?
Right. I am going to spend 9 luck points to put that to a pass.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so they do hear that, and you do kind of see. Okay, you've got some sand. They kind of get the gist of what you're trying to do, so they do kind of press themselves up against the corridor walls to allow you to pass.
Try and get my way through as much as possible to head back to them.
Constantina, you are still over Perry's shoulder, and you've seen now that the red is now in the compartment. What do you want to do?
Is it close?
It's coming at you quite quickly, yes. The blue one is still closer to you.
Oh, right. Well, look, right. So, look, shooting hasn't worked. So I will take the butt of the gun and I will whack the damn blue one with it.
Okay. Give me a brawl roll.
I'm really worried if she fumbles this and she smacks you in the arse.
Well, I haven't hit the thing. It's darting about too much. Stand still, you stupid bugger.
Maybe you have. What's your brawl?
36.
Okay, no, you haven't. It just kind of sweeps around in some weird little circle and gets out of your way. But you've got a big hefty rifle. And you're over Perry's shoulder. The blue one is going to actually try and kind of
Will you let go of me, you stupid baboon? I can't get out of its way when you're gripping onto me, you moron!
That is a hit. You can fight back if you want with your rifle, but there's obviously no way that you can really dodge.
Yeah, well, I will fight back. Absolutely. Might involve clouting Perry around the head if it comes to it, because stupid man-ape's not letting me dodge. You built the couch around dodge, you fool, let go of me! That's a miss.
What you get? Oh, miss. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Plus. It doesn't tell me what that is. Oh wait, yes it does. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So, that was quite a lot of damage. So basically, Constantina, you feel this incredible heat hit you near the heart, to the point where it's so hot you can kind of smell your flesh burning, your clothes just kind of disintegrating, and you can kind of get like sort of smoke in your eyes. Basically, it's done more damage than your actual hit points.
Well, that was an unpleasant
Shut
final
the fuck up.
Well, we were running away. I mean,
Can I just state categorically for the record that it wasn't the star vampire that killed me, it was Perry.
Shut the fuck up.
You set light really quickly, and your flesh just kind of peels off your bones. And Perry, obviously, you have this on your shoulder. Can you give me a sanity roll, Perry?
No
sanity roll.
fucking way.
Well, okay.
Oh, if I could have rolled dodge there, I'd have been all right. I tell you what, I roll what I would have rolled. All right, let's see. Oh, look at that pass.
That's an
It wasn't
11.
even a good roll, still pass.
Okay. You still lose 3 for that because it's a companion. Seriously. Do you put her down? Do you do anything? Do you keep hold of her?
Yeah, I'll put her down and grab some sort of coat or blanket or something and try and smother the body.
Okay.
Put the flames out.
Okay.
Are you seriously doing that?
It's my intention to grab her and run out of the carriage, not to stay in the carriage holding her.
It melted metal. What do you think it will do to some bed sheets?
Anything else you want to do in your go, Perry?
No.
Okay. In that case, the red one comes at
Well, the
you.
red one.
No, it was the blue one.
Yeah, I forgot about the red one.
Yeah, the red one comes at you. Do you want to dodge or fight back?
I don't see I've got anything to fight back with, so it would have to be a dodge.
Go on then.
That is fail.
Okay, so that one hits you. You never know. Maybe it is going to be a TPK. Okay, so
I don't have enough luck to pass that.
Oh, blimmin' number. Okay, so that is 9 points of damage.
9.
For
Oh, that's okay.
fuck's sake.
I'm out on the floor then.
I believe is the rest of you.
Oh,
the rest of your hit
Yeah.
points. So you're currently dying.
I was 3 short of I'm 3 short of luck for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you feel this heat singeing sort of weak parts of your body. It's so hot. You catch the light all you're kind of almost thank you, Steve. You're kind of almost feeling like a fleeting memory of your chest scarring over and the burning of that, but this is worse, frankly, as you start losing consciousness. Charles, you're seeing this happen in front of you.
Yep, I just want to say, Stephen, no backseat keeping.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to see Steve.
None of it.
Steve's on his.
No. Stop it.
What are you doing? Presumably sanding one of these.
Yeah. Well, my hope is to sort of. I mean, I don't want to dump all of it on one of them because that's bloody pointless. But as one of them is kind of attacking Perry and he's sort of on the ground at the moment, if he's the nearest, I'm going to try and sort of tip some of this sand onto where Perry's getting burned.
Oh, where Perry's getting burned. Okay. Yep, you can do. That's fine.
We're wherever this bloody thing is, because I assume it's it's well, wherever he's.
Both of them are now in the corridor. So the red one just attacked Perry. The blue one just basically
the nearest of the two then
burned Constantia to death.
Yeah,
brilliant. Get sand in the wound.
So it would be the red one that's closest. So what you're saying is you're attacking the red one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you make me a dex roll, please?
I'd rather not. But I will anyway.
Okay, so you hit. That is the red one. How much is that? Okay, so so you kind of fling a load of sand at it, and again it kind of singes up. It starts slowing down a bit before kind of reigniting. So you think again you've done a bit of damage to it. So by this point, the guards are or the train guards are coming and kind of seeing what's happened. They then start going off, getting more water, more sand, things like that. However,
Sorry,
the
mate.
blue one,
Sorry,
Yes.
mate. Did I skip a turn?
you did. I'm so sorry. Yes, you're
I was going
absolutely
to
right.
say, I was wondering why I came back round so soon. I was wondering what happened.
I am so sorry. Go ahead.
Don't worry, I'm throwing the other water to
Okay.
the first that I hit before. That I
The
believe
blue
was the
one.
blue one.
Yes, the blue one.
Fuck it, I'm spending 3 and I'm making another extreme.
Ooh la la. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, you get this one really well to the point where it kind of it's sort of diffused so much, and there's a lot of kind of water vapor that's kind of coming up, and it actually almost like, obviously Pranit doesn't really know what this is, but almost like when a white dwarf turns into a black dwarf star and it just sort of shrivels up and darkens. It's obviously a much smaller scale than that, but it just kind of shrivels up into this little tiny dark ball before just disintegrating completely.
All right. If I may, I'd like to tend to parry, if I can, in this turn.
Yeah, go on. Given that he's kind of on the floor right next to you. Yeah, okay. So give me a first aid roll.
Oh, please, please, please. Fuck this. I'm spending other 6 points of luck to make it a pass.
Okay, so Perry is no longer dying, fortunately. You have got 1 hit point, basically, Perry, but obviously you're not really in much of a fit state to fight. If you do want to get up, you can, but what I'll say is, given what's going on and how much damage you've taken in one go, it might, mean a con roll or kind of
Probably crawl
to get up, crawling up. However, actually, no, I beg your pardon. It would technically be your go next if we're going back round.
Okay. I will try and crawl away, but I will try and drag Constantina's body with me.
Okay. It is still kind of burning up.
I'll grab a limb, a foot, a hand.
Okay, yeah, I'll say that one of her hands isn't fully sort of ignited.
I'm trying to squeeze past down the corridor, past Pranit and Charles.
This is the
Okay.
problem. Is it's narrow.
Yeah, it's shoulder width, really, isn't it?
It is, yes. Indeed. Although people are very much getting out of your way now that they can see
Even
burning up. There are people screaming and things going on. Pranit, in the correct order, it's now you again.
I am,
The red one's still left.
and I believe I'm empty-handed because I had 2 and I emptied that.
No. I said that you got 4 of them, so 2 in 2 in each
4.
hand.
All right, so I just throw another one.
Okay.
Oh, come on. I'm rolling it again because it fell on the floor.
Okay.
No, that's a miss.
Okay. It also kind of it sort of what's the word? It's jerking around a bit more than it was before, so you think that again it's quite weak, but you're just not quite there with the water, and it just goes on the carpet. However, it does try and make an attack at you. You can fight
I'm
back.
dodging.
or
No,
dodge.
not a fucking way. Oh, if I'm fighting back, I believe I'm doing it with water.
Yeah, you
So-
can do it with water. It'd just be a throw roll instead.
No, I'm dodging.
Okay.
I got a higher value in dodging, so.
the problem is, if you dodge, we lose the water. These are pitches. If you roll out the way, we lose the water.
Yeah, you got sand though, so don't miss.
No pressure.
No, it's a regular pass on dodge.
Okay, I have a hard.
Fuck.
unfortunately.
Can I spend 3 points of luck and make it hard? The pass, of course.
Yes. However, how much is your dodge overall?
68.
Okay, you'd still be fine. Okay.
All
3
right,
points, you
I'm
said.
doing it.
3 points. Okay, so again, you just managed to get out of the way. You can feel the heat come really close to your beard, and it sort of singes little bits of it.
Not the beard.
Yes, the beard.
But
I'm going there.
You do realize that if I make this roll, there's a very good chance that you're about to have a whole load of sand dumped on you.
Well, hopefully that won't happen, or else Pranit will go into rage mode.
Just don't go for the ice, and then we're good.
Because literally, I'm going to throw this sand wherever this thing is, and right now this thing is there on Pranit.
Mm-hmm. So you're dumping the whole thing, yeah?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm basically going a little bit did something, so I'm just going to do a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, give me a throw roll.
Throwing. I'd rather do a dex roll. And that, my friends, is how you do an extreme.
So you've had loads of extremes, mostly. Okay, cool. So you dump the contents onto the other fire thing, and you completely extinguish it. Basically, just this sort of pit of sand falls on it. You can see this wisp of smoke coming out, but it's not kind of burning the sand away or anything. It's just sitting under this sand.
Yeah.
And by this point, the guards have come back with water, things like that. They obviously see Constantia in her state, and there's sort of people screaming, fainting, things like that. The head guard looks at the rest of you who are still alive, in shock. The bloody hell were you doing with your cigarettes and what have you? This woman here. Oh my god!
I make a deliberate action of getting the flask out and going. Would you be so kind, sir, as to inquire as to whether there is a doctor on board? And
well,
if
obviously,
so,
you don't need to tell us that.
Here?
Yes, we'll get him here, and we'll keep you under lock and key until you can make a statement as to what happened here. Irresponsible idiots. So they do get somebody to kind of have a look. Obviously, they kind of look at you, Perry, and you get 2 more health points back as they kind of dress your wounds in sort of nice cloth and things like that. Obviously,
and sand.
Yes, and things like that. But again, you're very kind of drowsy, of course, and really not sort of able to do much. They kind of cover Constantia up, and they start talking about, kind of giving her a burial of some sort, things like that. But in any case, you are kind of locked back into another compartment, the 3 of you, and eventually it takes a lot longer, of course, than expected in terms of arrival time. You get to Nairobi at about 1:30 in the morning, and there's kind of a bit of a hullabaloo almost. The locals obviously weren't expecting you to come so late, and there's obviously like commotion and stuff as well. So they're kind of some people are kind of curious and coming to have a look as into what's going on. What I'll say is that, Harry, you're taken to the local hospital, which is Where is it? The Highlands Breeze Hospital, which is of course nearby. The other two of you are taken in to speak to the National Guard to give statements as to what occurred, and you're kind of taken in individually. English as well. Is there anything specific that you want to tell them, or are you just going to kind of like with the whole, Elias in his room and this happened, sort of blasé through it?
No, I'm just going to tell the guards or policemen or whatever that if they bother to inspect the cart, they'd see that the burning started from outside of the vehicle, so we are not to be held responsible for what happened. What it was, I don't actually know, but it didn't start on our behalf.
The man is kind of writing this down, and he says, well, there are plenty of witnesses we can also speak to see if this truly is correct. Having said that, no matter what happened, we have a dead woman on our hands, and
I have a dead friend on my conscience.
Yes.
So that makes us even, I believe.
We shall see. Mainly to you, Pranit. We shall see.
Miss Bavaria Parks was a friend and a lady, and you will treat her with respect.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't we? So you are let go after more kind of grilling, especially you, Pranit, presumably given the color of your skin. So you are able to go and see Perry. In terms of Constantia, she is sort of laid temporarily in a place called the Chapel of the Snows, which is nearby to the hospital, in order to have a proper burial there in due course.
Make a mental note to visit the chapel in the morning.
I'd like to use the money that I stole from the warehouse to pay for a funeral, or have her body shipped back home, even if I don't know where her home is.
Okay.
I didn't intend to keep them money.
Is there a consulate building, British consulate, or building?
Well, yes, there is Government House, which you do have a lead there already. Given the time of the night, it's of course not open, but you presume it will be in the morning. It's a Thursday now.
Yeah, amongst other things, they will be able to contact Constantina's family. They'll make the necessary arrangements. We can just pay for it. They'll know how to get in touch with her. They'll be able to find her family for us.
Okay. Do the two of you, are you staying in the hospital with Perry, or are you thinking of getting a hotel somewhere?
No, I'm spending the night in the hospital, and then we'll see the next morning where we are going with all that just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm sort of looking over sort of Perry in the hospital bed and somewhat sort of muttering under my breath that twice in 24 hours he's been a hair's breadth from death, and I haven't been able to do anything.
And I managed to save his ass twice already.
Oh. Really don't want to see it go a third time, because I'm not sure Perry's got it in him for a third time and out.
Oh dear.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I don't want to find out.
No, yeah, I'm echoing.
Oh, Phil's feeling guilty. So the three of you get a fairly sort of restless night, especially you, Perry. The burns, like you can feel it kind of under your skin, is really kind of uncomfortable, even though you're getting like ointment and sort of dressings and so on. It's not nice, really. But you make it till morning, and given kind of the ambience of the noise, so like you can hear animals start waking up, you can hear people start moving around and things like that, you kind of naturally wake. So again, Perry, you're tended to fairly well. You get the impression, the two of you who are not kind of in huge amounts of pain, that this is very much a hospital kind of meant for white people, so plenty of care and attention for Perry, etc. You also get some basic breakfast.
If there's any sort of blowback at all, any sort of disdain shown to Pranit, especially after the Q&A from the night before, the people responsible will be told in no uncertain terms that he is with me, and he will be spoken to and treated as you would me.
Mm-hmm.
That simple.
Yeah,
I don't believe that's going to happen, but
no, but you know, you have to. It's a case of is I'm, you know, my character's smart enough to recognize an incredibly brave man when he sees one, and he's gonna, you know, stand by him.
Yeah, they're happy with that.
Cheers, mate.
So
yeah, I'd rather see in the morning how Perry feels.
Yeah.
If he's comfortable with leaving the hospital, and then we get to follow our leads and hopefully find a new friend that can help us.
Well, it's a similar sort of malarkey as before, in that mechanically speaking, yes, technically you could leave the hospital, but of course everyone is advising you not to do so. You're now on 3 hit points and you've got a major wound.
My instinct, Perry, is for you to stay another evening.
Could I don't know what if the condition makes a difference, but I was already on a major wound before it happened.
It doesn't stack, but at the same time.
But I mean, after going to 0 hit points with burning fire damage, I mean, how capable would Perry be of carrying on?
Well, that's a very good point. You're definitely going to experience penalties for various physical activities for the moment.
I've got to stay in hospital. Hospital.
I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, you stay another night. We are going to the government house to arrange for Constantina's body to be sent home. Then we have a look around the tea shop to see where it is, what kind of people wander there, and then we will
strictly as customers, we'll go in, we'll have ourselves a cup of tea. If it's a cafe, if it's merely a place that sells tea, we will buy some. We'll get a lay of the place. We'll, you know, either way, we're going in as customers. We're not doing anything excessive.
Okay.
I think we need to pull back a bit.
The government house first, yeah?
Government house, well, chapel first.
Yeah, chapel, maybe finding a hotel as well.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Chapel first.
I say we leave the morning to the mundane stuff.
Yeah.
And then we get our researches and investigations for the afternoon.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Good. Yeah.
Go to the chapel, light a candle.
Constantina's body is I take it is extremely damaged. I take it.
Yeah. It's I mean, you're not shown the actual body. It's all kind of wrapped up in sort of nice white cloth and things like that. But you do see somebody who introduced himself as somebody who was kind of on your list of names. Dr. Horace Starrett, his name is, and he appears to be a chaplain of sorts. Let me see, where is he? Quite an old, elderly chap, glasses, but he's obviously looking very kind of upset for you both when you arrive, and he's kind of leading, kind of getting everything ready and things like that to ensure that Constantina is, properly buried. And he almost kind of takes hold of your hands, especially if you kind of hold them out, and he says, "I am so terribly sorry as to what happened. It
Yes, it
is
was most.
such a shame that such a presumably a lovely young woman such as this has been
She was.
immolated in such a way."
She was. She had a spirit. Not
And I
see
imagine
her
it shone very brightly, my child.
If you'll excuse me, I wish to say my goodbyes.
Of course, I will leave you two alone for a moment with her.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
I go over to Constantina's body. I get the flask. I raise a small sip, close it again. I sort of pat her on the hand and say, I'm so sorry you never got to see those dragons.
The fucking dragons.
Maybe now you will. On Monday.
Yeah, I'm having a prayer and then paying for the funeral with the money that she helped stealing. Sounds poetic.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I still don't recall where we heard about this Horace.
I believe he was somebody whom Elias interviewed.
I'm trying to get a hold of the corkboard, but it's taking ages to
Let me have a look.
load.
We actually there's something we can do. Perry is still the person who knows this information the best out of all of us.
Yeah.
My character barely knows a thing.
Didn't he do the autopsy on
Yes.
the Carlisle expedition?
Oh, right.
Yes, he was somebody that Elias interviewed, although just the name is listed in the notes.
I believe Dr. Starrett.
Yes.
I believe you knew another of our associates in the previous time, Mr. Elias, Jackson Elias.
He thinks for a moment. He wasn't
something
the,
regarding the Carlisle expedition, something.
Now Carlisle I do remember, and in fact it is coming back to me. Elias was the African American, was he not?
Yes.
Quite a forward sort of a man. Yes.
Yes, that sounds like him indeed. Yes.
Yes, he did speak to me about the expedition. He seemed to be I can't remember if he was an author or a journalist of some sort. But yes, Elias came here. When was it? About 6 months ago. It would have been in August. I'm presuming that you're friends of his. Was
Well,
he?
I am traveling.
successful in
I'm
his
traveling
studies?
with I'm traveling with an associate. He was also rather hurt at the same time as our own Miss Bavaria Barks. I was wondering if you would be willing to visit him in hospital. I'm sure he would love to speak to you regarding
Well,
his
yes, of
mutual
course.
friends.
Are you
His name is Perry Astor. He's patient.
very, very well? I will come. I will come.
Thank
Are
you.
you? Was Mr. Elias successful in his findings on the expedition, or has he sent you in his stead?
We
Unfortunately, he passed. So we are
Oh,
bringing his work forward.
I see. And you actually see him do a sign of the cross. It appears, if you don't mind me saying, death is following you closely. I am very sorry to hear.
somewhat too closely.
I don't know much about the expedition, but I can give you hopefully some helpful information. It depends if this Mr. Astor wants to hear it from me himself, or if you're willing to pass on the information.
Oh, I'm sure he would love to hear it from himself. It may very well perk him up in these.
Very well.
You must understand that this death has hit us all hard.
Yes. Very well.
Your news may help give us focus in such a trying time.
Fine. I will bring some elements from the missionary school. It's not much, bear in mind, but hopefully it will help, and it will be something that he can keep with him once he is discharged. But I'm happy to meet with him.
Thank you.
Shall we say a bit later after lunch, perhaps?
Yes, that would be most perfect.
Yeah, maybe after a little break.
A little break, you say? I was about to call a break anyway, so yes, let's have a break.
Please and thank you.
You're welcome.
See you in 10.
Yep.
How's your arm, Ronnie?
That was
Wasn't it?
That's on you, Harry.
it's Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu, mate. It happens. It's those split-second decisions, those rolls that don't quite go right.
It didn't go right, did it?
You know.
The idea was to grab her and drag her out of there
rather than remove her ability to defend herself.
We were leaving. You need to defend yourself. We were leaving.
Look, all I was doing was I was just like role playing a little bit. She failed her sanity roll, so let's have her, think it's a thing she can hunt. I'd already shot through it twice. There was no way I was gonna keep doing. She's not stupid or single-minded. She's not a barbarian. You grappled her to death. You're like the copper who put his knee on the leg of that. Neck of that guy. I mean,
Please, please, Perry. Let me shoot the thing, Perry.
You're a monster.
No, it's Perry's seen too many of his friends die, so he just wanted to grab you and get you out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But they went wrong.
Yeah.
So,
now he's a killer.
just
Thanks.
how to lay on the guilt trip. Just.
I liked that character.
I liked her as well.
That was intense.
Yeah, I was just saying to Becky, I was quite surprised that happened, especially because two of you were so quick to deduce, okay, let's get some water, okay, let's get some sand. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, they got this. And then that happened.
For a split second, I thought, all right, the water is not going to do shit because they're melting fucking metal.
But they're fire. Of course, water's
Yeah.
going to do some good.
Yes, but I didn't know how much heat they carried, so I imagined that the water would just straight out evaporate.
I was saying to Becky, it's like regular damage is 2d6, and then you add another d6 of burning. So it was that third dice that got her.
It wasn't. The getting the water, getting the sand was fine. It's the fact that we had to go and get them and bring them back. It was a couple of rounds before we could actually do anything. And
it's not going to be right outside your door, is it?
It'd be useful. If it's good enough for Steven Seagal, it should be good enough for us. He's always got the stuff right there.
Yeah, right next to the rail line to say that it should have water or sand buckets at the end of each carriage, not in the next carriage.
Yes.
No, I said at the end, like just before you got to the next carriage, so you still have to move up the corridor and stuff.
And then it turned into It's a Knockout, trying to get fucking through the people.
Well, yeah, because the gun went off, so of course people were going to start panicking. Actions have consequences, young Ronnie. Even though that was small.
Yes, I am well aware I use that phrase a lot.
However, I forgot to. It's not I forgot. I didn't see Steve's comment from last week that said how pretty overall, like how good is everyone's appearance. And yes, it is a thing in this game. I believe Pranit's appearance is pretty good, and the others are kind of average.
Yeah, my appearance is a 75.
So you're a pretty good-looking chap.
My appearance is 55.
I didn't grade my appearance now.
I'm not a chunky boy like Arthur, but I'm going there.
Do I have to downgrade my appearance now? I'm burnt.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes, actually. Yes.
I just no. Sorry, I'm not going to let this one drop.
If you want to shame fire victims, then carry on. But
Stephen.
Well,
Stephen?
I rolled a 1 on a d6, so don't complain. I've lost
Stephen?
1 appearance. It didn't get anywhere near your face.
We did not screw up. Our dice fucked us.
Not mine.
There's a difference.
Well, I poured a glass of wine in kind of commiseration that the dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
Yes, your dice gave us damage, and our dice didn't take it away.
Literally, almost all of my dodge rolls actually passed. Like, I think it was only one that failed considerably, and they only got 40 as well. It's not like they're stupidly good either.
I haven't actually said hello, Stephen, tonight. Actually, hello, Stephen.
Hey, Steve.
And I hadn't ignored for Duke either.
Thanks,
However,
Steve.
things got kind of escalated quite quickly. So, yeah. However,
Fajuk gave us high and by again.
Yes. However, resuming back to the game, for those of you who are still alive, are you planning to do anything else fairly urgently before the meeting with Dr. Starrett back at the hospital?
Other than go to the government house and
okay, so
make arrangements for, well, to at least make arrangements for Constantina's travel back to England to our family.
Not otherwise, not other than trying to survive the night without getting a deadly infection, though.
Yeah, I mean, if
don't give me ideas.
If there's an hotel close in between the government house and the hospital, we may arrange for a couple of rooms.
Right.
And Becky did bring up something in the chat, which I think is yes. Hopefully, we still have her luggage.
I will say that even though it took a while, yes, everyone's luggage managed to get off because there wasn't really anything that burnt in the carriage considerably, so there's nothing that's been damaged apart from yourselves.
So,
why do you have 5 rifles?
After the right, after what we've just been through, are we going to complain about the number of rifles now?
Right.
Why would you have less than 5? She also, when you first met her, had people to hand her the rifles. The rifles, incidentally, are there's a 303 Lee Enfield, there's an elephant gun, there's a 16 gauge shotgun, and then there's another Lee Enfield and another 16 gauge. So help yourself.
They're big guns.
I'm not stealing anything, so I'd rather send it all back home.
Rather importantly to the conversation, they're very long guns.
And there was £50,000 in cash.
50,000.
Because that's just what she carries in cash.
That's a trunk.
Her assets were over 5 million.
Okay, so we'll be sending. We'll be sending back her personal effects. Obviously, it would be entirely morally wrong to keep the 50,000 cash.
Of course, completely morally
bankrupt and ethically bankrupt to keep the 50,000 cash. So I think we should keep about 30,000. Which I think is more ethically sound.
In terms of a hotel, the hospital and the chapel are actually in very close proximity. The only thing in between them is what's called Uhuru Park. So just a nice stretch of greenery. If you do ask around for hotels, there are a few of them in Nairobi. The most sort of prestigious one is sort of towards the northwest on the outskirts of the town or city centre, called the Norfolk Hotel.
That'd be the
You're
one.
also taught, basically, someone else also points towards a much closer hotel called the Hampton House Hotel, which sounds a little bit lower budget, but still very nice. Out of the two of you, let's see, it's going to be Pranit. Could I have a luck roll from you, please?
I don't remember my value now, but it's 11.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, not even close.
Okay. So yeah, you get kind of a couple of people pointing towards either of them as a possibility. But in terms of where you are, you're kind of in a nice sort of, again, like a green area, and there's quite a lot of suburbs sort of towards the east side. There's various districts as well. And then south of you is an industrial area. So it's actually quite big, and there's lots of sort of areas around the center as well.
My instinct is to take the Norfolk, because it's at the outskirts. But I suppose we either take the Norfolk because it's on the outskirts, or we take the Hampton House because it's in the center of town and easier to get to places.
Yeah, I'd say the city center is the best option.
Yeah, my only concern is if it's easy for us to get to places, it's easy for those places to get to us.
Yeah,
I mean, again, there's various districts around Nairobi, like around the center.
Yeah. So we're going to the Hampton then.
If you wish.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm happy either or. I would prefer the swankier hotel, but if you think it makes better sense with what we're doing to take the Hampton, we'll take the Hampton.
Yeah, I mean, that really boils down to the fact that we don't know how big is Nairobi.
That is true.
Again, now you're asking me. Let's see.
I mean, you're the keeper. Who am I asking?
I know, but it's a map, so it even says statute miles as opposed to just miles. You think it's sort of 3 miles, 4 miles across?
Not
yeah,
big.
I mean, not big at all. I mean, that
Well, for 1920s,
really doesn't...
it is. For a place in Africa, it is quite big.
Not big.
Yeah, we're not talking Cairo, though.
No, but even so, Cairo, especially compared to how it is now, is a lot smaller.
Yeah, I'd say that one place or the other it's actually the same, even though the fact that apparently they already know we are here. They already knew we were in Mombasa. Not hopefully, more likely they will know that we are here too. So that really doesn't matter as long as we don't book the rooms under fake names. But they'll ask for documents, and I'm not in the bribing position.
It would take me a while to knock them up. I could forge such identification papers, but it will take me a while.
You do know just from the hospital as well that the government house is where you can get things like hunter permits and sort of general papers. And actually, part of the whole police ordeal, at the end, they kind of said to you, because presumably you are tourists, make sure you get a hunting permit if you want to open carry, etc., just to kind of hammer the nail a bit further into the coffin. Passive aggressive.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we need to make a decision about whether or not we're going to try and, do we give ourselves some forged papers forged ID papers for booking the hotel, if that's the case, do we use those forged ID papers for getting our hunters' licenses so we can carry, or do we just use our own IDs for that? Which means we're going to have to carry both, I think.
I mean, I'd say, or we fake everything, or we don't fake anything. So I don't know. Depends really on how much time does it take you to forge documents. But given the fact that they already are onto us, I don't actually see the point in masking our presence more than a reasonable amount.
No, I think my only problem with the Hampton House is that it's right in the center of things. They could come at us from all angles, whereas if we're taking a hotel on the outskirts.
Bear in mind, I said the outskirts of the center, not Nairobi as a whole. So you're not like right on the border of the city or anything.
Well,
You're
in that
still
case,
fairly in.
It's 6 1/2 dozen. In my opinion, then let's go to the bloody place where it's just swankier. Let's have a soft, mate. Yeah, let's have a softer bed for no other reason than Perry might actually benefit from sleeping in a soft bed.
Yeah, sounds fair.
That's fair. Okay.
Go to Norfolk.
The Norfolk Hotel. Okay,
Right,
and it is indeed very nice.
No, we're not going to the Norfolk Hotel.
You're going to
Norfolk.
to Norfolk. You're getting out of here. Yeah, I get it.
We're going to Norfolk. We're just going. Okay. Just heading there.
So this is apparently it was built in 1904, and it very much makes a point of that at the entranceway. So pretty new place, very swanky. There's these lovely views of the plains sort of out. And again, you're not like right on the outskirts. There's lots of greenery around your way. You can see as well, like there's a big stretch of, you think they're kind of government owned grounds, things like that. There's another sort of arboretum area as well that you can see. Obviously no sea views. It's not like you're in Eastbourne or anything like that, but it's still, very sort of top notch. When you get sort of taking the keys up to your rooms, you get a nice sort of little bottle of your choosing up in your rooms. You get a copy of the local paper, which is the Nairobi Star. It's basically a very big single sheet newspaper,
right?
As well as various various leaflets you can see down the lobby of safari trips and all that cool tourist stuff you can do whilst you're here.
Might look at the leaflets later.
Okay.
Make sure that I book 3 rooms.
Yep.
Next to each other, all on the same floor, preferably one of the top floors.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm grabbing a city map.
In fact,
okay.
if they have a penthouse with multiple bedrooms, I'd be tempted to punt for that.
What'd you say? What sort of rooms?
A penthouse with multiple bedrooms.
Oh. Do you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's say that there's a penthouse on the top floor, like a penthouse suite.
Okay. We'll go for the penthouse then.
Okay, I'm trying to copy this blooming picture, but it's not. So let me see if
I
can get
for no other reason than it's the top floor.
Sure.
If they're coming, they're going to have to walk a whole lot of stairs or take the elevator up.
Yeah, so dragons are more easily just landing into the whole apartment.
Let's not nitpick the plan just yet.
Since you said you're going to pick up a city map, I am going to actually give you the map of Nairobi.
Yay.
Yay. If I can actually find the damn thing. Give me a moment. I'm just sort of scrolling through. Yeah, here we go. Hopefully this will go the right way round. I think probably easiest is if I put it in the Facebook chat for now. What I'll do, obviously, I'll upload it to the drive as well.
Cheers.
Come on, messenger. Are you going to do it the right way round? No. All right, let me try and do what I did before and oh, in fact, it's going to be silly and kind of skew it. So let me just quickly print screen and crop it, and then you've got it. Oh. There we go. Okay. Try this one. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's better.
That's the problem with Adobe, in that you can copy an image, but then if you say you can't rotate it unless you put it into Paint, and then if you paste it into Paint, it just flattens it, like skews it up, and it's so. Hopefully, you can read the bits on there as well. So you are at number 7.
Yes.
In terms of Government House, Chapel, etc., if you can see number 22, that's the park. It's basically either side, so 21 and 24.
Okay.
All right.
Hampton House was... Where was Hampton House? That was 25. So just sort of in by the railway line where it kind of goes into a corner. So again, fairly sort of close by if you do, for some reason, want to go there, but just so you know where it is.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I grabbed the map just to try and pinpoint where the tea shop might be.
Well, there is a very obvious-looking Indian quarter. There is also an Asian district.
Mm.
And then a European district. All right. Yes, I say we go back to the hospital, have a chat with the doctor, and then
Yes.
have a walk around the.
Okay.
Yes.
Lovely jubbly.
Whilst he might not be physically at his best, our boy Perry has been involved in this. Has been involved in this little trek for a tad longer than myself, and apparently longer than yourself, Pranit. So he may have some extra insight, certainly more than I do. A lot more than I do.
Yeah, same about me, give or take.
Where has he got? Okay, so you head back to the hospital. Perry, you've been awake for a little bit. You've been given some lunch and things like that. So you kind of, you're able to sort of do slow movements and basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Starrett is indeed there, and he's sort of waiting for the two of you to kind of point out who this Mr. Astor is and so on. He's still wearing his dog collar and things like that, his robes. Although, even like for a vicar, he's fairly practically dressed. You think maybe given the environment and the heat.
I should have said, what's who, Perry? How are you doing?
Not too good.
We brought
No, I
someone.
imagine not.
We brought someone with us. Don't worry, he's not here to perform the last rites on you.
Oh goodness, no! I would never do such a thing unless you were practically on death's door, which I can see that you're not.
Yes.
This is Dr. Starrett, Perry, I believe.
Horace, you can call me Horace.
Doctor, when can I get out of here? What's the?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm not that sort of doctor. I'm religious studies and missionary work is my doctorate. But I do have a missionary office where we do hold medicine and things. So I do know a little bit about medicine, but I wouldn't want to give my educated opinion on whether you are to be discharged today or not. I think that's very much up to the members of staff here, I'm afraid, Mr. Astor.
Well, what happened to Constantia?
Oh, I believe that's and you see Dr. Starrett kind of turn to the two of you as if to say that's the woman I've just buried, sort of thing, isn't it?
I'd sort of lean towards the doctor. I said, I'm sorry. I thought he knew. We may require a moment.
Again, I can give you that if needs be.
Yes, a moment only. He may require your. He may require your presence immediately after.
Yes, I understand.
And
he
very
kind
old boy.
Goes back into the corridor and sort of waits.
I'm afraid to say that Miss Constantia wasn't so lucky.
She didn't make it out.
I'm afraid not, dear boy.
Oh, dear God! What happened? Did the ball of fire thing?
It would appear so, sir. Yes. She said
What was it? What could it have been?
I admit, sir, that I am struggling to make sense of it all.
Yeah, that's not really on you, mate. You tried your best. Everybody did. Unfortunately, it's the circumstances that led to. Don't do that face, Jason.
I was going to say that's one opinion. No, it's fine. Like I said, the dice giveth, the dice taketh away.
Yeah. I mean, thing is that you don't have to be harsh on yourself. I mean, I know we lost already too much friends in this endeavor, but hopefully that won't happen anymore. I'd like to think it that way.
Seems to
Becky eternally screaming at that.
Becky was muted, and I heard her from here.
Oh, come on, I'm role playing. You imbecile, you let her die. I couldn't do such a thing.
Yes, you are role playing.
Yes, we
my God.
Two spirits now screaming at us from the ether.
Yes, because we're going to be called imbeciles in two different languages.
I will have you stuffed.
Mounted, probably. Oh.
Just wait until my taxidermist hears about you.
Oh, that's a thing. No.
That's worse than being injured. That news.
However,
Either way, we found out about Dr. Starrett that allegedly spoke with Jackson Elias about the Carlisle expedition autopsies.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't have brought him to you, period boy, but I must admit that my own knowledge of all of this is very much lacking. Yourself and Pranit know this, the history of this whole situation far more than I. I felt it was best that you and he be the ones that do the questioning. That's why I asked him to come here.
I have to do what I can.
At that point, he kind of comes back in, or rather, he sort of peeks his head, and then if you,
I motion him in.
He does. He says, "Well, if you don't mind me saying, I didn't have anything to do with any autopsies, but again, I did see the expedition briefly, and I did speak with them, so I might be able to give you something that would help. However, it depends on what you're doing here, and it sounds almost like this Mr. Elias person. I knew that you knew him, but it's almost like you're retracing his steps."
Oh, I must say he did far better than most of us, actually. So not quite retracing his steps.
Oh, right. What, are you his competitors? Oh, well, he actually, I do beg your pardon. Your companions did say that he passed.
Not competitors. His.
I'm sorry. I overstepped.
No. We would be. What is the proper word? We are in his inheritors.
Ah, I see. Yes. Tying up all the
Yes.
the human, the earthly possessions and so on.
Yes.
Well, I imagine that you are the right people for the job. Whilst his personality was not
American.
yes, if you don't mind me saying, quite American, he did come across as quite a warm character. So yes, what is it you want to know about the Carlisle expedition? Again, he seemed curious himself in terms of trying to work out their activities and their whereabouts. They did come to me at one point whilst they were here. They did come to Nairobi to buy medical supplies.
did they perhaps tell you where they were headed? Because we know that around October they went missing. They were reported missing.
Yes, they did. In fact, I don't think it was October. It might have been. I think they were reported missing, but I don't know if they were a bit before then. But let me double check in a moment. But yes, I did hear about the massacre that happened. In fact, actually, I beg your pardon. He did participate in the medical examination. I didn't see that bit. Essentially, I did look at a few of the bodies before they were returned for burial. They were torn to shreds, frankly. I remember looking at them and thinking, where on earth do I begin with them? One thing that was quite shocking was just how fresh the bodies seemed to be. It was as if they died yesterday or the day before we put them on the table. Let me just double check on the board a second before I go down a rabbit hole of incorrect information. I thought it was a bit earlier than October, but I can see you're on the board as well. So
Yeah, that's what it's written in the summary that you gave us about the Carlisle expedition.
yeah, okay. And yeah, reported missing. Yeah, okay, cool. No, I wasn't sure if there was like another thing that was October and they reported missing before then. So no, you're absolutely right. It was October. Okay.
Do you have any idea, Doctor, what may have caused the bodies to look so fresh, as you said, and what actually managed to tear them apart as it did?
Well, this is it. When we found them, they'd been presumably laying there for months. We found them in this place up in the north. It was most shocking. You would have thought at least that animals would have devoured them, perhaps, or they would have rotted somewhat, but they weren't. And one in particular, Miss Masters, I was very saddened by her loss. She donated a lot to the missionary center. She gave us a lot of money, and when I heard that she was killed along with them, I did wonder, but it was finally concluded it was most terrible. It is a very eerie conclusion, I'm sorry to say. It's very vague and full of mystery. The devil's hand has spread across that place, I imagine.
I didn't think any white people were found with the bodies.
Just give me a second. He says, well, I don't remember seeing any particularly that I examined that were white, but as far as I'm aware, everybody there died. Let me think. I'm just trying to think of anything else that I remember from when they were here that might help.
Did they ask for when they asked for medical supplies, did they ask for anything strange or out of the ordinary?
No, not really. It was just sort of general things like petroleum jelly, opium. They were unavailable in the local chemist at the time, hence why they came to me. But apart from that, no, they simply bought what they needed. Miss Masters gave this really quite surprisingly hefty donation. Then I believe they went south for a few days. They stayed with a local hunter. Let me try and remember the name of him. I remember he was a colonel. Everdale? No, Endicott. Yes, no, it was Endicott. Yes, I've. He has been a bit of a culprit of a scandal. This colonel. But they did stay there for a few days. Of course, we found the bodies a couple of months after this fact. And again, that was north of here. Whilst he's talking, you can make me psychology rolls if you want, gentlemen.
I try, but I'm going to miss a lot. Yes, indeed.
You say that, but somebody rolled a 25 earlier on my other group, and they got an extreme, and they just thought, "Yeah, I'm not going to get anything," but they did. So,
not me.
Charles.
I am going to spend 8
luck
points to make it a pass.
I've got an extreme.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, with an extreme, you don't need to make the luck if you don't want to, Charles, since it's a group thing.
Oh, well, in that case, yeah, sod that.
Okay. He's definitely everything he's saying is truthful, Perry. You definitely think as well you don't know if he like was kind of infatuated by Miss Masters, aka Hypatia Masters, but he obviously was very endeared by the fact she gave so much money to his establishment.
He has mentioned her a few times.
Yeah, exactly. You also definitely think that, again, whilst everything he's saying is truthful, you think that maybe he's being purposely vague, especially about the bodies. Not necessarily kind of wanting to lie or anything, but you think maybe it's just sort of for the greater good.
He doesn't think we'll believe him.
Well, more for the greater good, that he kind of doesn't specify and kind of open up a can of worms.
I was sort of waiting. I'll tell my friends that after he's gone. Obviously not while he's there.
But he definitely thinks personally that the reason for the massacre was a supernatural evil, from the devil. That's the only thing he can really think of as an explanation, because there can't be anything rational about this at all.
Yes, that's if we told him the details of what transpired on the train, I don't think that's going to sway his belief about all of it coming from the devil.
Well, the devil does wield fire, and hell is a very terrible place for such things. That is definitely inexplicable. I have not heard of anything else of that nature here, but that is most concerning.
Did you perhaps followed what happened with the other revelations about the Carlisle expedition? Maybe on the fact that Mr. Carlisle's sister went by to look for the bodies, that the
yes, I did hear that his sister had come here. When was it? I think it was around June. I know it was hot weather, just after the raining season. I was not involved with her, but I believe she did send up a search party to where this massacre site is. But she did that with the British riflemen. I don't know if you've spoken to them, the King's African Rifles, but anything to do with what they did with Miss Carlisle, then they'll be the people to speak to. You may find, I don't know if they're all here at the moment, but Fort Smith, that is their main headquarters here.
We'll make sure to check it out.
Yeah, we need to talk to Lieutenant Selkirk as well, who Jackson talked to.
Right, yes. I'd only spoke to Mr. Elias for a brief half an hour, but I believe he combed the whole area with a good few subjects for his muse.
He was a very thorough researcher.
Yes, he did seem that way. But once again, I am terribly sorry for your loss with Miss Bavaria Parks. We will give her the finest burial. Well, at least a blessing. If you wish to send her back home, then we shall do that.
Pleasant, thank you. Hopefully, this will cover part of the expenses, and I give them the money from the warehouse.
That is most kind. And he gives you some sort of general supplies, Perry, for kind of healing. So things like laudanum and a little bit of morphine, things like that. And he says, he kind of leans in a bit and says, "Don't tell the orderlies that I've given you this. They may get a little bit jumpy."
Okay, I'll give it to ourselves.
But I hope that's been of help at least. But if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to the office. And
Yeah, sure. Thank you for stopping by and have a chat with us.
perfectly fine. If you need anything else, then you know where I am. And he does give you kind of directions to his sort of missionary building, as it were.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So it would appear this lieutenant should be the next person we speak to.
Did you still want to go to Government House?
Neville German? Is it?
Yeah, I
German?
mean, we went in the morning to arrange to make the arrangements for Constantina going home.
Oh, okay. Because there is Neville German potentially at this Government House, but also there is Roger Corridon there.
Yeah, I was taking Pranit's lead on that. We said, right, nothing. We'll just keep with the mundane stuff for the morning.
Okay,
and then we'll
so
deal
not
with it.
kind of interrogate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just making sure. Okay,
Yeah,
but
I'd
you
say
do know
we
that they're
will
there
take
at
it
least.
easy.
So yeah. Okay. Coolio.
And again, the problem still remains. Yeah, I can go there and question, but me as a player, I could bombard with a whole lot of questions due to the fact that I've been playing for 30 sessions.
Yeah, that's
Me,
fine. I'm
me
just
as a character
making-
hasn't been in it for any more than 4.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's fine. Just making sure that you know that there are significant people potentially there that you can
it's
talk to.
Pranit and Perry that really need to sort of spearhead this.
No, that's cute. That's cute. Okie dokie. So you want to go to Fort Smith?
Well, it's up to you. It's really up to you two guys. Where are we gonna hit first? Are we looking at a lieutenant, or do we want to hit the people in Government House? I think we're going to hit all of them. It just depends which order.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been released from hospital yet.
Well, that's another thing as well.
Unless I'm dosed up on morphine, and how much good I'm going to be, I don't know.
You're not dosed up on morphine, but at the same time, like you've been feeling all right, a bit more mobile throughout the day, and it is getting into the afternoon now. I mean, given again your status and things, if you adamantly want to leave, they're not going to stop you like physically or anything. But at the same time, they're still advising that, yeah, you could do with some rest. You've been burnt quite badly, second-degree burns and things like that. So
there's an argument to be made that we take that we pause, we take the evening. Perry gets a good night's rest. We get a good night's rest at the hotel, and we start fresh with all of this in the morning. We get a good meal. We get a good meal.
Yeah, I still would like to take a walk around the Indian district to see where the tea shop is.
That was one
At
thing.
the very
Also,
least.
mechanically speaking, Perry is not going to acquire any more hit points if you leave it another day. So again, just something to think about.
Having said that, I can lie quietly in my bed and recite the blessing Bast.
Yes, you can. Yes.
I'm sorry, lady. I had the ouchies.
Yeah, you definitely got her on speed dial now, haven't you?
I think it's lucky.
And there's plenty of books to read because, of course, there is always that.
If I could.
I got a
You could
severe
certainly sit in
case.
bed and read.
I can't read.
I got a severe
Oh,
case.
yeah, of course.
The
Well,
ouchies.
I mean, you could, I guess, if your life depended on it. But yeah, I know what you mean in that you find it hard to read, so you don't really.
In that case, me and Pranit can go to the Indian quarter and find this tea room.
Okay.
Pranit
But
and Charles
Perry-
sit next to my bed and read me the grimoires.
But presumably you still want to do your blessing of Bast monarchy.
Yeah, better do something. Yeah.
All right, give me a power roll.
A power roll, which is 78. What's mine? That's not good, is it? Power is 65. That's a fail. Oh, there's repercussions to that, isn't there?
No, not really, because you haven't attacked a cat before.
No.
Whereas a certain other French person did. But seemingly, you're placed on hold. You kind of wait for the feeling, and it just doesn't come.
It's a cat. She's sleeping.
Yeah, or I don't know, tipping something off a shelf, what have you.
Yeah, you got a tanker that you didn't shoot her daughter.
Oh no, failing the peril incurs the displeasure of the goddess, costs 1 point of damage.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Claw marks on the face.
I beg your pardon. I thought that was just if you'd harmed a cat. You're absolutely right. Well then, you've been taught that lesson.
Oh, yep. Obviously, displeasure in killing a friend is universal.
Anyway, yes. So, let me know, Perry, if you want to do anything like kind of reading wise while in hospital. But in the meantime, the other two, yeah, you can get a meal either back at the hotel, or there's a couple of other restaurants and things in Nairobi you can go to if you want. Excuse me, before you
I'd like
try
to.
and tackle the
I'd like to have a little bit of Indian cuisine, so I propose to have lunch in the Indian quarters.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit late for lunch, given you had the meeting with Dr. Starrett after lunch. But you just have an early dinner.
We're having
a snack, a little bit of naan bread.
Yeah, you can have some
lunch.
You can have some. I know some mimosas from it. That's completely wrong. What are they called? The onion bhajis, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of street food? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can do that.
Lunch is relative.
Yes, it is relative. Okay.
It's whenever you want it to be.
Give me a second. I just need to find my version of the map again. I was a little bit worried when I found the map in the handouts for you, and then just before I sent it, I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't have like the spoilers on it. That's good. Okay, here we go. So there's the Indian quarter and Keel. So okay, I'm just checking if you go past anywhere that's worth mentioning, basically. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you go past a few places. You actually happen to go past the Hampton House Hotel. You notice there's quite an elderly gentleman, but not kind of weak looking, quite the opposite, in fact, quite sort of portly. He's got this quite big, very sort of handlebar mustache, and he's just sort of sitting, like lounging in a chair outside on a porch. With a pipe and a glass of port, quite a large glass of port, you notice. And he's reading the paper again, the Nairobi Star. And he's British, and he just sort of gives you a little wave, Charles, just kind of like a little, pleasure wave. Why have I still got Starrett up? I don't know. There we go. You can go away. You also go past a British bank as well for the Bank of England if you need to go there. Actually, before you kind of get properly into the Indian Quarter, there's like a little marketplace which has quite a lot of sort of Indian style trinkets and things. And you also come across Tankawa's tea shop. It seems to be kind of on this side of the Indian Quarter.
Okay, are we talking? Is this as in a little tea shop where you can sit down and have a cup of tea, or is this a tea shop where where they sell various brands of tea, or both, actually.
It's more so the latter. Definitely exterior-wise, there's not any kind of nice sort of sitting areas or tables anywhere. There might be somewhere inside, but yeah, in terms of how it looks on the outside, it's kind of more practical and
Go
industrial.
in purely, to go. Let's have a look inside. Purely to buy some tea. Get a feel for the place.
Yeah, you can go straight in if you want.
Yeah, it's fine.
Time of the day is okay. Okay, that's cool. Just checking that it's open and things like that, which it does seem to be open. So yeah, you head on in. You head into quite a sort of large open plan. There's like a large counter and things like that. You can see that there's potentially some other rooms beyond. But quite quickly, you kind of hear like a little bell dingle as you come in, and you can definitely smell this sort of waft of tea, and it's really quite nice and relaxing, actually. You think there might be a bit of incense burning as well.
The aroma of tea. The slight prickling of incense.
Let me just make a quick
smells like
roll a second.
Nowhere I'm usually in.
Ooh, okay. Okay, Pranit, yeah, you can definitely see they're only small, but just sort of little decorations very much affiliated with the Sikh religion. So you've got your kind of Sikh emblem, you've got an idol of the guru. I did remember his name, but I can't quite at this very moment, but I can find out. But the main sort of guru of Sikhism, just like little like pictures and things like that. And yeah, you can definitely smell incense, which reminds you of home, and it's very kind of northern Indian, like the sort of feel here. But quite quickly, you see this fairly sort of small middle-aged lady come out from back, sort of, you think. Where is she? And she has the typical red dot in the center of her forehead. She's wearing, again, typical sort of, not like fully ceremonial Sikh garb for a woman, but kind of more kind of practical wear. But she's blatantly, of that religion, and you very much think that she is Punjabi as well. And she says to you, "Oh, good afternoon, sirs. What can I do for you?" And you actually notice, Pranit, she's obviously talking to you more, like she's looking at you a lot more than Charles is, and you actually see a little bit of a glint in her eye, just like kind of her eyes lighting up metaphorically, if you know what I mean.
All right. I thought she was giving me the funny looks. And I said, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa."
No, quite the opposite.
Calm down.
Quite the
Calm
opposite.
down, girl.
No, as in she's quite pleasantly surprised to see a fellow Punjab in here.
You're a good-looking Punjab chappie. Of course, she's going to have a bit of a spot for you.
And hands off, mate. Hands off.
You've got it.
She introduced herself as Tankawa. Were you planning to buy some tea, sirs? I have plenty.
Yes, well, just a little taste of home, Too far away from.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've been spending a lot of my last years in England, and they don't know how to drink a proper tea. So I missed the good taste of my hometown. So how could I not walk into this?
I understand. You do get the occasional good Earl Grey, but that's about it. But I know exactly what you mean, sir. But if you don't mind,
no offense, Charles. No offense.
You speak Punjabi, right? So do you mind me asking why you are here in Kenya?
Well, basically, I'm on a trip with a couple of friends. We just visited Cairo in Egypt, and now we are heading south.
Very nice. Very nice.
hmm
That is very good. It is good that you are traveling elsewhere, I suppose. But yes, come. And she actually takes you sort of further round into the back. You think that this area is far more kind of reserved for her special clients. It's all very kind of comfortable, lovely plush cushions, things like that. And she very much, especially with you, Pranit, she makes you at home, or makes sure that you're at home. She gives you the best sort of tea samples there are. So you've got sort of Assam, oolong, things like that. And she's very kind of doting, and she kind of basically gives you however much you want.
Have you been here for a long time, Madame Kaur?
Yes, a few years actually. I came here with my husband actually a few years ago, and he came to work on the Ugandan railway, but unfortunately he died. He died a couple of years back.
condolences.
It is all right. It is all right. But I decided in the end to stay. My tea shop is very successful here. Lots of people here drink my tea. So I decided in the end to stay, and I have made myself, part of the community, integrate myself here. So at the moment, I have no interest in going back.
I must admit, this oolong is
It's
rather
quite
lovely.
something, isn't it?
Yes, it's got a nice kick to it.
Yes, you are not the first person, English person, if you don't mind me saying, to say that.
Yeah, I mean, they're not used to it. So as long as they start tasting something good, I mean, their eyes go wide, they get a little bit watery.
It's another. I don't know whether it's a brand of tea or something that I've ever heard of. Darjeeling.
Darjeeling, yes, that's right. Yes, Darjeeling.
Do you have? I have heard tell that that's remarkable stuff.
Of course, sir. Yes, absolutely. Let me go and get you some, and give me one moment, please. I even have some green tea and jasmine flower from China, if you want.
Is she out of earshot?
Well, she kind of says that to you as she walks away, but then she just kind of go around the corner, so you don't know if she's completely out of earshot, because it's quite against
I sort of lean over to Pranit and say, "She likes you. Just letting you know."
I mean, I'm trying to playing along.
She likes you.
Yeah, I am slipping the tongue, mate. Not a chance.
But you what?
I am not slipping the tongue, I said. I mean, I'm playing along. I'm not going farther than a certain point.
I wasn't sure if that's what you meant or something else, but okay, I understand.
Steady on, steady on there, sir. I didn't mean that you had to be overly forward with the lady. I just meant that I could see a certain spark. My word, you definitely run at a different speed in India, don't you? My word. 2 seconds in the shop and you're thinking of tonsil tennis? It's not on, sir.
It's not going to be a Mel Gibson moment.
I'm thinking of
no,
what?
It's not going to be a fucking Mel Gibson moment, Phil. This is a Mel Gibson free zone. Thank you very much.
Technically, you didn't fuck Mel Gibson. You wanked him.
For his own pleasure and for his own good, okay?
Which
I was trying to help.
Which we had to hand it to you, but you kind of handed it to him.
I did. Anyway, so Tunkawa, she kind of comes back with some more tea. She is a little wary though of how much you're drinking, and says, if you don't mind me saying, you are drinking quite a lot. I don't want you to feel a bit how do you say in English, wired. There's lots of caffeine in there.
This is probably the reason why. I tell you what, though. Could I have a box of both the Darjeeling and that oolong? That's lovely stuff. Could I have a box each, please?
She looks at you first, Pranit, as if to kind of say to you, "Is that okay?"
Yeah, sure. I'm taking a couple of boxes of ulam for myself, please and thank you.
The oolong, yes, sir. Like I said, you are definitely not the first British person to enjoy the oolong. It is really quite popular here among the whites. But yes, let me see if there are any more boxes available. Obviously, if not, then I can put some down for reserve for you and get them from Mombasa quite quickly for you. That's not a problem. And she kind of goes off again to kind of into another room this time to kind of sort out like storage and kind of get sort of the stash and things for you.
Is there anything peculiar in this room?
I'm just rolling now to see if you notice. Okay. So, Pranit, you're kind of looking around really quite keen-eyed, and you're not seeing anything at all out of the ordinary in this room, or you don't remember anything in the front either. There was definitely like a closed room in between like the front desk and where you are now. You don't know if that's like another like storage room or maybe even a small like living quarters or something like that. However, okay, I'm just seeing if that's a hard pass or not. You do notice that the floorboards. Oh, I can't wait to that first. The floorboards near where you're sitting are a little bit uneven.
All right, so I'll try and play a little bit with the tip of my feet to see if they move.
Okay.
Or if they are like sliding somewhere.
Guru Nanak, that's the one. That's his name.
All right.
Yeah, you kind of carefully press down with your foot, and yeah, there is definitely sort of movement. It doesn't completely give, but yeah, you definitely think that there's room below here that you can't quite see. As in you can't see any kind of obvious way down. Like there's no stairs or ladder or even a trap door that you can see.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's of course something for another time, and I'll wait until I'm out of the shop to tell it to Charles.
Okay. So she comes back with the oolong, and she actually, again, completely you, Pranit, she says to you, do you mind me asking, do you play chess?
Well, a little bit. I tried to play in the army. I'm not that sharp, but I enjoy it.
You are a soldier as well. That is wonderful. Well, I'm only asking because whilst, like I said, I'm integrated into the community, I'm always interested when other Indians and especially Punjabs come here, and it gets quite boring here, if I am honest. It would be wonderful to see you. I go to a chess club every Wednesday evening. It would be wonderful if you could join me. Whether you are good or not, it does not matter. Just your company is good enough for me.
I would be most delighted to. This way, maybe I can actually get better at playing chess.
That is the spirit, absolutely. That is precisely the attitude that I want to hear. If you don't mind me saying, there are not many Sikhs around here. They are very up to their ears in very sort of tribal traditions, and it is very refreshing to see the likes of you again and having the right attitude in your heart. What was your name, by the way?
My name is Pranit.
Pranit is a wonderful name. I was going to name my son Pranit if we were ever to have one.
That's good to hear. I generally don't know how to reply to something like that as a player, so I'm going with that. Did you say that she goes to her chess club every other Wednesday?
Yes. It is now Thursday.
Yeah. Yes. All right. All right.
I know it is a long way away, but I'm sure that I will maybe see you around. And if you need any more oolong, then you know where I am, of course, Mr. Pranit.
Thank you very much again, Madame Kaur. I've
That
been
is
most
no problem.
delighted to find this shop.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you, madam. Your the cheese were absolutely lovely. If it would be all right by you, I would love to. Before we leave, I would probably come by to buy more. As I know I'll
Absolutely.
probably get through here. I probably get through these before we actually leave Nairobi. So I'd be immensely well.
Well, how long are you staying in Nairobi? A week? 2 weeks?
We something along those lines. Yes, we have a few people to see, and our plans may change depending on theirs. But yes, a week or two. Yes, I definitely could do with more tea.
Again, she turns just to Pranit and says, well, just for you, I will get in some more orders to make sure that I am fully stocked of oolong for the both of you.
You are most kind, madam, most kind. So I'll make sure to pass by in the next days, just
It is
to have a little
wonderful.
chat, as you said.
She gives you the opening times. Basically, the only thing you really need to know is that she shuts at 7 p.m. each day. But says, I do look forward to seeing you in the near future, Mr. Pranit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Pranit, shut up. And have a good rest of your day, Madame Kaur, again.
Thank you. And you. I don't know if you are taking a friend to sample the Indian cuisine. It is very nice. And she actually gives you a couple of recommendations, and she says that there's one that is kind of on the front, but is actually not very good. So don't bother with that. Try sort of further down, and you'll see this and that.
All right. I thank her and I exit the shop.
So she gives you kind of a deep nod, Pranit, and again she looks at you, sort of eyes glinting, and you definitely get the impression that she's a bit infatuated with you. You think?
I mean, how could she not? As soon as we are a little bit farther from the shop, I tell Charles about the floor plank that is a little bit moving. So I assume there's room under there, but I don't know how to access the place.
Do you find her suspicious?
I don't know, but given the fact that this is the only lead that we have about cultist activity here in Nairobi and not in the outskirts, I believe it's worth our while.
The lady did invite you to visit her chess club, although it is some days away.
Yeah, next week.
Perhaps say the Saturday. You may send a message saying that you would love to get in some practice, if she would be willing to meet you at the hotel to play a game of chess purely, and that would give the rest of us the chance to get into the shop without her being there.
Yeah, that might be. We don't know though if she has some employees working for her.
Oh, she's bound to have.
So I don't know if she, first of all, would like to close the shop, and if she doesn't, who is there in her stead?
I'm aware that the rest of us is a nebulous term, currently saying 1.5 of us, but because originally I was thinking, well, if she goes away on the Wednesday, then great, that gives us a window of opportunity, but that's 6 days away.
That's a lot.
And the problem remains. We're on a clock. The bastards already know we're here.
Yeah, I don't know if we manage to wait a whole week. So I think we should find another way to get her away from the shop before then.
The something relatively innocent as, I would very much like to meet you for chess. Because she's already extended that invitation, so it won't come out of the blue.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Because I say waiting till the Wednesday it sounds a good idea. But
well, that really depends.
We're up against it. We've already lost Constantia. These guys are on us.
Yeah, we need also to speak to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and we don't know where we'll end up with what they'll say to us. So I'd say let's leave it here for today.
Yep.
Tomorrow morning we pick up Perry from the hospital. We go and
because
talk to Endicott and Selkirk, and then we'll see from there.
Realistically, I can't ask anything. I can be there, but realistically, I can't ask anything. It's got to be you two.
Dare I also remind you that the new moon is next week?
Yeah, as I say, we're on a clock. We're on a clock, and they already know we're here.
Yes.
We're
Yes. So Sam Mariger, well, not the actual person Sam Mariger, but the railway station. You obviously came through that after your chaotic journey, shall we say? There was nobody there at the time, of course, but it seems like that's where Elias met him.
There was no chaos in that journey until the keeper decided there must be soul.
I don't believe that was
I didn't write
keeper,
this
but the publisher.
I did not write this adventure, thank you. I have put some of my own stuff in, but that was not one of them.
But yeah, I think we get a meal, proper dinner, good night's sleep,
and then we will pick things up next morning with Perry. Yeah, sounds good.
We would, as I say, we need to talk to Colonel Endicott, Lieutenant Selkirk. We need to talk to the people at Government House, and we need to start getting some of these threads. and start taking the fight to them, because if we don't, then Constantino's not going to be alone for long. Quite frankly.
We shall see. That seems like a good time to leave today, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's a convenient moment.
Okie dokie.
Who's
Again,
doing
I
the
was-
recap next week?
Oh, yes. We did decide on the last broadcast, but now I've completely forgotten who's next.
Yeah,
Because
same.
obviously you've all changed position.
Also, if it's me, I'd rather write that down before I actually forget that I have to do it.
Just because Becky's being killed off, as it were, and I knew it was one of you two rather than Phil, he was last. Would you be okay going next, Giorgio?
Yeah, no problem. I'm just writing it down so that I don't forget.
Okie dokie.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yes. I mean, like I said, I was not expecting it to go the way it did, but there we go.
It's
That is what
Cthulhu.
happens. It's Cthulhu,
I mean,
but
you're
also
the one.
it's masks.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, you're the
Cthulhu.
one living with Becky, so that's on you, mate.
Yes, but I wasn't the one who picked her up and left her immobile.
Still,
Yeah, he didn't physically restrain me and prevent me from defending myself.
Indeed.
You had a gun. You're still firing.
Steve, what the hell? Only one death, though. Oh, come on, mate. You're supposed to be on our side, not Jason's side. What
You
the
should have
fuck?
seen before where he was like, "Oh, you can kill them all." Meh, meh, meh.
Stephen, thy bloodlust is showing.
Yeah, apparently so. I'm a bit terrified if I was to be a player in his game.
Yeah, don't let Steve. run
Actually,
the mask for you.
I will defend Stephen in that regard. Stephen falls under the auspices of tough but fair. You might die, but quite frankly, it's due to your own stupidity.
Or somebody else's.
or
right,
somebody
Phil?
else's, or really bad dice rolls, or anything else. Stephen, and having played in many a scenario with Stevie GMing, tough but fair. The fact that I tend to always die, not in the least, not in the is not colouring my view at all.
Monster.
Well, you certainly don't sound like a monster, Steve. You sound like a lovely Scottish bear that sort of wants to cuddle you.
Sounds like Ronnie's trying to survive the next campaign.
That's
Oh yes, I'm completely trying to survive the next campaign. I'm buttering him up for the brownie points now.
Well, I mean, with other players and stuff, and obviously not with COVID counting, there's things like, oh, if you get a pizza for the GM, then they're more likely to let you off and stuff like that. And I find that really silly.
No,
Well, it depends on the type of pizza.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Pizza or beer.
Or jelly beans. Candy. For me, it's candy. Gummy bears and such.
I have to say though, I mean, the beer just wouldn't work on me at all.
No.
The jelly babies might actually. What do you mean street cred, Stephen? We don't have street cred, Stevie. We went through our teenage years and our 20s and our 30s actively fighting against it.
Wow, you've known him for a very long time.
I've known Stephen since I was 15.
Wow.
All right.
14, 15. I've known Stephen.
Well,
Old friends.
let's cut the broadcast there. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody, and thank you to
Thank
Steve
you,
for
Jason.
watching, and also for you in the future. I imagine you will catch up.
Yes.
We'll see you on Saturday for Dune and more Masks, of course, next week. We'll see you later.
Yes, we will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Steve.